Ooh. Uh-oh. Ooh, that is not a pretty screw. Uh-oh. Oh, that sucks. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab an easy out. Let me say a little prayer. That'll work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pry this one out. I'm going to be very gentle. Hopefully I don't crack it like I did the CJ one. So that bolt was really being that screw was really being a pain in the butt. I had to just chisel the top of it off, and it worked just fine. So now this is out. All I have to do now is pull out this screw on this one. Clearly that's a larger size, probably a P3. Beautiful, came right out. And then on this one, it's actually a socket. Looks like a, I don't know. Okay, much longer bolt in that one. Okay, so now that that's out, you want to make sure your window is down when you do this. What you're going to do is pull this out. Oh, like that. That's okay, you know, it's quite scary, but it's fine. Got some pieces of our window scraper breaking off. But again, this is not the one that I care about so much. Okay, so this is coming out. Come on, baby. Oh, I have to go up and out of the frame now. And it feels like something's hanging on there. Okay, so that's out now. We're going to do the same thing. This should come easier. Yep, there it goes. Oh, looks like this window is up a little bit. So I want to make sure that that is all the way down. Just going to take this. Okay, looks like we gained just a tad, but we'll see how that goes. Ugh. Ooh, definitely tighter over here. I just wish I could get that window lower. We'll put that back in. I'm going to line this window up. And then I'm going to take it back down. Ooh, super amount of resistance there. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Oh, now we're... Okay, it broke, so that's not good. Let's see what we can do here. We may be transferring over the window mechanism as well. Ah, I see. Okay, so the bad screw is holding us up because it's not going into the hole. There we go. Come on, baby. I swear that on the driver's side this was not this difficult. Corner of the window that's holding us up. There we go. And that same little that hold us in. Okay, so that's out. That's good. Looking at these two vent windows, they're very much the same, except for whatever reason this is not rusted quite as much as that is, where everything else on the door is rusted. These are chrome on the outside on the CJs, and then we just got that little chrome patch here. For whatever reason, both of these are broken. You're supposed to have to push the button in to open it, but both on my YJ doors and on the CJ doors, the driver's side button worked properly, but the passenger side one is broken. I think that's from passengers hopping in and going, oh, I'll open up this vent window and just yanking on it. At least I know that's what happened to mine. But beyond that, everything else looks the same. I'm not sure if you're able to pop this window out and swap it over. Kind of seems like you could if you pull that out. Maybe that. I don't know. I'm not interested. I'm just going to keep the window. One thing you can see with these windows is that one of them's a little bit more green. And that is the newer window is a little more green. And the old window is much clearer. I'm thinking that has something to do with the hardness of the glass. I'm not too concerned about it. I've already done this to my driver's side door, and I put the clear window right next to the new window, and you can tell when the door is off, but once the door is on the vehicle and it's dark behind it, you really can't tell. So let's find out how much I broke that window cranking mechanism. So an important thing to remember is that now that this vent window is out, your window is unsupported on this side here. So there's nothing that holds that window on. Now looking at this here, what I thought happened is I thought I broke this off, but it's actually screwed in, which is good. So what happened is I was over cranking it, probably because this thing needs to be greased a bit, and I knocked this wheel out of this track. So now I'm going to try and get that back into the track. I guess some people would want to know if you could swap this mechanism, the window cranking mechanism and window, from the CJ into the YJ. And I see no reason that you couldn't. These holes here, the screws here, all line up with the screws on the YJ. On the CJ. The difference is this spline is not the same as this spline. So by that, you can't take your CJ crank handle and put it on your YJ. It just doesn't fit. And vice versa, you can't put your YJ crank handle on your CJ mechanism, which may be a good thing. You know, maybe you want this nice chromed out look on your YJ, and you want to take that window crank mechanism out too, and keep your doors green and green or white and white. I definitely think that's a possibility. And if we crank up this YJ mechanism here, we can see that it's pretty much the same, just the difference of hex head bolts versus Phillips bolts. So it is the same mechanism. We're going to try and get this back onto here. I don't see any reason to swap windows, really. I'm sure somebody out there has a reason to do it, and that is not me. So I'm going to crank this back down, scooch this window down. Oh, and while we're at it, I just want to mention that if you were to unscrew those bolts, that's exactly how you would take this window out. I can't get it out because I didn't actually unscrew the bolts, but that window would come right out just like that. But that is not what we are doing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back down. And now I have to reach in here and try to get this to line back up, which is going to be a ball. It's going to be a ball, man. Oh no! And there we go. It wasn't so bad. I just had to twist the window so that this could slip in and onto there. Let's see here. Let's put these vent windows in on this door, and then so that involves cranking this back down. And hopefully we don't have any problems again when we have to when we put this new one in. So chrome window goes like this. Gotta finagle that into that opening. So it has to go into there, and then it can be rotated around. And down. So, okay. quite well. This is a tight squeeze. I think part of our problem is on this CJ window, this corner is much more rounded than on the YJ here. So it's kind of digging in a bit more. You know what I wanted to check? On these runners for the windows, these can be pulled out and replaced. I think when I did the driver's door, I think I replaced this on here. But looking at this one real quick, it doesn't look... maybe it does. Let's take a look at that. And compared to that, you can see how much tighter this one is than this one here. So I am going to take this off and put it onto there. We'll start with this one and see if it comes out. If it doesn't come out, then we'll have to stick with that. Pull it straight out of the bottom. Yep, just like that. So that comes out. Set that aside. Do the same thing with the CJ. Push, push, push. Yeah, this one's pretty hard. I can hear it cracking as I'm working it. Oh yeah, you hear that? Out it comes, and in goes the YJs. Not that the YJs is perfect. You know, if you really wanted to do a good job, you'd probably buy replacement ones, but if you wanted to do a good job, you'd probably be buying the appropriate mechanism for $100. I guess it just depends on where your line is at, what you're willing to do and what you're not. See, this is cracked, but you'll be fine. Okay, now we can go in at the angle. Make that work. Okay, then we put the window into the track as we slowly bring ourselves. Okay. Oh, it's a heck of a window there. Okay, so I'm just pushing up on the window tab just to give myself a little bit of space. Whew. Okay, I know this fits. I promise. Go in, go in, go in. I tell you, it did not do this on the driver's side. All just that corner of this window holding me up. That is the only thing holding me up. It's just this window. Oh, there it was. Okay, so the trick was twist the window slightly and it'll go in like a dream. My arm hurts. I was pushing too hard. Surprised nothing broke, to be honest. We're gonna go ahead and pop these screws in. I'm just gonna put them in loose. I'm not gonna go crazy tight. Oh, you know what? This is supposed to be a really long screw. This really long one right here was for the CJ. So we're going to make sure that one goes back in on the CJ one. Put the short ones in on the YJ one. And then these screws here. Again, I'm just going in loose. If I can go in at all. Okay, there it is. That one. Then we'll put this screw in here. Remember the YJ one was a bolt, and I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The CJ one is a bolt, and the YJ one is a screw. Take that all the way down, and then I'll go ahead and make sure that this is tucked forward, and tighten that down, and all these other screws nice and tight. And then, since I got nothing else to do with these parts, I'm just going to throw this door back to... Wait, that's the wrong part. I'm just going to throw this door back together with the leftover YJ parts. See if we can't twist the window like we did on the YJ. It is so dirty inside of that door. Oh yeah, there we go. Just wind the window up a little bit and then twist it. And well, that's just strange. I wonder if a little bit of silicone lube up in the channel would have helped a bit. That's close. It's close, but it's just not there. It doesn't get too much closer than that. Oh, there we go. There it is. Well, I'll tell you what, let's put these bolts in and pretend like nothing bad ever happened. I guess that screw tip that's sticking out didn't help us at all either. There we go. Oh, it's tighter than heck, but it was never easy to begin with. Oh, we just broke that one too. Whatever. I don't care about that door. I care about this door. Let's put this weather stripping back in. So we'll check this window and make sure that it functions properly. She's tight. There we go. Okay, so that goes up, that seals. That's looking good. She goes down just fine. Okay, I will grease that up to make sure that that runs flawlessly every time. I'm going to leave that window up because, oh, I'm actually going to have to take that window up too anyway. Okay, so now we can see why this door failed from the outside. And now that I see it, it's actually coming back to my memory. This wasn't cotter pinned onto the door handle because when I was doing the driver's side, I lost a cotter pin, so I took apart this door to steal a cotter pin from it, and then I kind of put this door back together and forgot about it, put it on the car, and then as soon as I closed the door, it popped off and locked the door shut. This door had problems anyway. Plus now it's got chrome, okay? It's got chrome. Okay. So we gotta get this off of here, which as you can see on my phone camera, by prying that plastic forward. Oh yeah, that's the way to go. Look at that. It just falls right out at that point. Oh, sorry, you didn't get to see. But that's how that goes. And this one has to be replaced because of that threaded end, which means I do have to wind up that window that I had just broken a moment ago. Okay, so we're going to do the thing that was missing on the YJ one, and we're going to pop off this hitch pin, screwdriver, and we're not going to lose it. And it's the exact same process, except this door is a lot dirtier. I'll pry that forward. I guess not forward, upward. There we go. And that pops it out. And then that bracket will come right out of there. So now I can look at these two side by side and you can easily see the difference in the two. The bends are identical, but I got the threaded versus the hole. What you do notice is that these two ends are the same, which means that the outside door handle for a YJ door and a CJ door are the exact same mechanism. So those can be flip-flop between, but the latching mechanism cannot be. So that one goes, this one stays. Once again, let's take a look at our parts that we are using. So this door handle from the CJ with the bars, this one from the CJ, and the latching mechanism from the CJ will go on to the YJ, including this bar. I believe this bar will fit. Let's just take a quick look. As I mentioned before, I'm going to clean this, and I'm not going to use it just the way it is. Okay, so if we look at that, that CJ bar does not actually fit the locking mechanism hole. Hopefully we can get the YJ one to work. You can see the slight difference in rod diameter, the smaller one being the YJ. So I think what we'll do is we'll put this one in and we'll just clamp this metal down a little more to get it to hold better. And that does it just like that. So nothing quite like a good jerry rig to make things work. So now that'll go in like so, and that can go on to our factory lock, and that'll lock onto there. Now I do have the key for these door locks, but I don't want a different key for my ignition than I have on my doors. I don't want that. But otherwise I could swap the locking mechanisms as well. Not going to do that. What I am going to do is I'm going to take this and get this cleaned up. Got the CJ mechanism all cleaned up. It's looking a lot better. I did notice that one of these, this one right here, is not actually connected to the spring that it's supposed to be connected to. It looks like it's broken. It just shouldn't matter too much because the door opening should open it up. I don't know. If it becomes a problem, I'll do something about it. I've got this stuff here. It's called the lock lube. It's a dry lube, so it'll stick on there and it'll work great. You definitely don't want to use WD-40 because that'll just run off and it won't actually stay on to lubricate it because it's a penetrating lube. Let's pop that in there. We'll grab that T27 and our 4 bolts. Now there is a little bit of room for adjustment on this. I'm just going to line it up with the marks that are already on here, and if I need to adjust it I will once it's on the vehicle. Take this and we'll pop this into the lock. Lock that on there. So now our locking mechanism is connected for the outside lock. Let's go ahead and put this rod in next. Just going to stick it in there and do the reverse of our taking it out. Then we're going to attach our rod to the outside door handle. You can see that this has to line up onto there. I'm also going to simultaneously line up this one down here at the back. There. Put the hitch pin in down here. I'm going to open this door a little bit to hopefully get it to line up a little bit better. There we go. I'm going to put it down through the top down so that if it was to become loose, it would not fall out. It would only fall in. So those two are connected. Now we just have to connect our interior door handle and lock. And I think the longer one's going to be the door handle, and the shorter one will be the lock. Yeah, and I came up with that because of where these are. This one's a little bit further away, and that one's a little bit closer. So, work these in through here. And we flip this around. I do remember having to like bend this rod to make this go down a little more, but it seems to be okay. So if I lock and unlock, you can see that mechanism working. If I take my keys out and stick my key into the door, it doesn't work. Let's get some lock lube up in there. It's been years since this door has ever been locked. There it is. Just needed some lubricant in it, and it works. Leave that unlocked just in case it seizes up again. And if we close our latching mechanism, that's strange. We should be unlocking. I mean, we should be unlatching. It should be open.